Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. This article today comes from WOR, but first, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. Also, share with a friend. That helps us as well. This article today is written by Jordan Rumi, and it reads, Alien Romulus sequel in the works. That's good news for all us Aliens fans. Let's read this, guys. So it looks like the Alien franchise will live to see another day. Spurred by strong audience scores, this summer's Fede Alvarez, Alien Romulus, which starred Kaylee Spaney, earned $100 million domestically and $350 million worldwide. The budget was only $80 million. Yep, you got that right, guys. That is a 3.5x. That is a success. So I'm not surprised that we are getting news on a secondary Alien film. And when I say secondary, I mean a sequel to Alien Romulus. We've kind of talked about what we want to see in the future from Alien and the Alien Romulus as far as the characters that are involved. Obviously, we're talking about Rain, Carradine, and Andy. We want to see what happens with them on their journey to Yavaga. But we will see if we get that in this next film. I don't want them to rush this film. I do want them to take their time. I would like to see Fede Alvarez reprise his role as the director, and I'd like to see a lot of the main characters that we saw in Romulus return to their respective roles, only because it helps the continuity. We don't want to be putting too many cooks in the kitchen. They have a system that works, and I want them to double down on that system. But let's continue reading. Alvarez, who directed 2016's Don't Breathe, is clearly not done with the franchise either. 20th Century boss Steve Asbell is telling The Hollywood Reporter that a sequel to Romulus is already in the works and that Alvarez, Spaney, and David Johnson are set to come back. Like I just said, that's what I wanted to hear, so that is a good sign, guys. Romulus essentially found the franchise's new Ripley in the form of Spaney's Rain. Spaney played a female protagonist who wasn't afraid to pick up a gun and blast xenomorphs. The film also acted as a bridge between Ridley Scott's Alien and James Cameron's Aliens, combining elements of both and marrying the suspenseful horror. With that said, Romulus wasn't anything special and played it way too safely. This is obviously Jordan Rumi speaking on it. I'm going to disagree with his comment on playing it safely. You know, you have this group of people that they want to see new things in Alien, and they also want to see fan service, but if it's too much fan service, then they don't like it. But if a film like Deadpool and Wolverine is 90% fan service, then they praise it. But if Alien Romulus has a lot of fan service in it, and I mean not too much, there were some fan service scenes, but not too much. If it has some fan service there, they're complaining about it, and they're saying, oh, they're not taking enough chances. But these are the same people that didn't like Prometheus. So you can't have it both ways, guys. Either they're going to do the fan service and make a movie that fits within the Alien universe, or they're going to do something that's fresh and you're going to have to accept it for what it is. But you cannot have it both ways. I'm going to finish up this article. The middle section was where the pulse-pounding action took place, and I adored Spaney's on-screen presence, but it was nothing we hadn't seen before. The main characters all got knocked off one by one, and you could already tell very early on who would survive and who wouldn't. Romulus garnered a 64 on Metacritic. Many critics didn't like the final act, and it's surely a creative decision that's been talked about a lot. I give Alvarez credit for wanting to go in that ballsy direction, but it just didn't work. Of course, I won't mention a word about it. This is a spoiler-free write-up. The Alien saga, which began with 1979's Alien, directed by Ridley Scott, has had many sequels over the years with the exception of Prometheus, and I know I'm in the minority in my admiration for that one. I don't believe there's been a strong Alien movie since Cameron's take, released more than 38 years ago. So it seems like he actually likes Prometheus, which is interesting because Prometheus did, you know, they traveled some ground that hadn't been traveled before in the Alien franchise. So it's cool that he said he did like Prometheus. I'm not really understanding what he didn't like about the third act of Alien Romulus. I guess I can kind of see some gripes that people have with it, but once again, it was really like a greatest hits being played over and over and over. And sometimes, to course correct a franchise, you got to do that. Sometimes it is acceptable, and I think in this case, Alien Romulus did it well. The film was a pretty solid film overall. It was in my top 5 most anticipated films of the year. I believe I rated it at 85 out of 100. So very enjoyable film for me, and I'm going to be buying it on Blu-ray once it finally hits. But I'm glad to see that we have a sequel in the works. As I said earlier, I do not want them to rush the sequel. I want them to take their time. It's going to be a very important film. They're not out of the woods yet. We did have one great return to Alien, but they're going to have to finish it up or follow it up with something that's just as solid. So write down in the comments what you thought about Alien Romulus if you saw it. Hey, if you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know why you didn't like it. Let's get a conversation going. Let me know what you think about this article and a sequel for this film being in the works with 20th Century Studios. Everybody will be returning, so that is a good sign. With that being said, guys, please subscribe to the channel, like, share with a friend, ring the bell for notifications, and as always, be safe. It's Neff signing off.